Alright guys, what is up? James here from Spiral Design Works YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and click the little notification bell if you want to receive notification every time I upload a new video. I made a goal for myself for 2019 to upload a video at least once a week. So I'm going to try to keep the content coming. So this is part 3 of the side window hatch flip up project, whatever you want to call it, for the Jeep WJ. Had this idea a couple months ago to make these side rear windows flip up for better access to your gear. I'll be making a molly racks that go on the inside, which is like a military style grid pattern to hook all your gear to, so you'll be able to open it up, get to your stuff. So episode 1 refresher was basically the idea, going to the junkyard, looking at Jeep parts, hinges and latches, and then drawing it out. And then episode 2, I got the panel back from my laser guy, and I still had to drill all the holes to kind of custom fit everything, and did all the fitting, had it all put together, and then tore it all back down. We powder coated the panel, and now we're going to do the install. I sanded this now with this sanding block here. And I went back and wheeled the low areas, and I got it. It just feels really good. So now I'm going to take this flat file, which is pretty neat how these work. You can use this for Bondo, but by turning this and pushing the two ends apart, you can see that or not, but it puts a curve in it. You can actually go pretty radical with it. See that? Or I can go the other way, get it flat, and make it curve the other way. So depending on what you're working on, if you were working in a dished area, you could, you know, in my case here, we have a slight curve. So I'm going to push that out. I don't want to curve it too much where I'm hitting the 4 corners. So probably about like that. And then you can see here these dark black spots. They've got really ripply along the edge from my wheeling. So I'm just going to go ahead and file those out. So you get the idea. I may try and, I don't have a planishing hammer die right now. That's this low of a crown, otherwise I would put it in my hammer. So I may have to try to just hammer these out, maybe even by hand. But you get the idea. So I'm going to metal finish this a little bit more. I'm not going to go too super crazy, but that's pretty much how the high-end cars are done. When you see these high-end cars that they say have no Bondo in them, it's basically because they do this. They metal finish them out completely till they're perfect by hammering, doweling, filing, sanding, and all that good stuff. My business partner Dave and I were just talking about how many hours I had in this project, and probably pushing over 40 hours. Which is kind of crazy. I get an idea in my head and I just kind of have to see it through. I do think it's going to be awesome. At least it'll be a one-off on this Jeep. Who knows where it's going to lead. But let's get going. So the plan right now, I've got a lot of this rubber and stuff, so I'm going to just hit it with the sander, sand this down. I kind of taped off the good paint to protect that. And then I gotta decide if I'm either gonna paint this here, so this would be black, black, and black, gloss black, to tie in the 2 windows like this section, or maybe I bring this paint through here and tie these 2 windows together and not do this section, or
part too and black out all this, maybe around. So I'm probably going to do a little Photoshop tonight when I get home and see which one looks best. But for now, I'm gonna clean this up, and I might even just throw some vinyl on here to see how it looks. Go grab some vinyl from my vinyl shop, and where we make all our stickers and everything, and throw it on there to see how it looks. But right now I'm gonna sand this, get it prepped. I thought I'd do a quick review on this Craftsman CMEW400 multi-tool. I'm actually pretty impressed with it. I had a Dremel before this. Not, sponsored by Craftsman any means, but Craftsman hit me up. I do like this new, my old one, my Dremel had to put a wrench in here to get the tool out. And this one you just squeeze on that. It's a pretty tough spring, you got to pull on that, and then of course you can change the angles, which is pretty handy. So it's pretty nice. It's pretty heavy. And it's got your speed control back here. I suppose for certain things you'd want to change the vibratory rate. It is a little noisy, but I think they all are. But pretty nice tool. So I think I paid 79 bucks. Alright, I'm not exactly getting ready to paint yet, but I do like to use some prep all, which is it's right there, used prior to sanding and painting. I like to go with some prep all and wipe out dirt and all the years of crud that's built up before you start sanding. Because when you sand, it actually can take those dirt, oils, contaminants, and embed it down into the paint. And then that can come back to haunt you later on. So I'll obviously have to re-tape all this before I do any spraying. Alright, so for some simple prep, I'm just going to use a red, just more coarse, and a gray Scotch Brite. Just go along and the Scotch Brite's good for all these roundy areas, curves. So whether you're painting a small area like this or painting a whole car, I've been painting cars since I was 16 years old. The key to a good paint job is always in the prep. It's in the sanding, it's in the priming, the sanding of the primers, the sealers, wet sanding, all that, getting it ready for paint, and coming in with the spray gun, or probably in this case a can of spray paint, is the easy part really. It's all in the prep. Getting the surface smooth, getting rid of all the imperfections. If you can see it in the primer, you're going to see it in the paint. Alright, so my guide coat's still showing through here after all of that sanding in a few spots. So I got a few spots that I just need to, probably just going to take over to the hammer and dolly, and just hammer and dolly those out. So I can actually feel a little wave like right here. It's not much, but it's enough that it'll show up in the reflection, if I end up painting this gloss black. Right here, there's a nice dip right there. Dip there, dip there, so I'll hammer them up a little bit. A little low spot there and a little low spot there. So overall, actually feels really good. A lot of work. I've never actually metal shaped 3/16 aluminum before, so this is kind of a new thing for me to go such a thick material. But it's actually kind of fun too. Keeps me out of the bars. Pick this dolly that just has a slight curve to it, which actually matches pretty well this curve. If I held that under there like that, I actually can probably set that just like that. And then I'm going to take one of these hammers, body hammers. This is like a slap hammer. These slap hammers, you actually you don't hit really straight down, but you kind of do like a striking action like that across the surface. So what I'm going to try to do here, is I've got the dolly underneath, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tap not where the hole is, but around the hole. And since I'm backing it up with this dolly, it should bring that. This looks pretty good. I have to keep reminding myself that this is going on a Jeep that's going to go out in the woods and get all scratched up. And this isn't like a show car. But it's kind of fun. It's good practice to do some metal finishing and just take pride in what you do and what you're working on. Okay, so I'm getting ready to paint this. I decided to not do any blackout on this right now. I am going to be painting the Jeep probably a few months from now, so I figure I'll just tackle it then. But I did want to get some paint on this bare metal, so I thought I would just talk about painting real quick. There's a technique. What we don't want, even though I'm really not going to be painting out here into the actual body, most of this will be hidden behind the glass. What you don't want is to put a piece of tape down and then paint this and then have this hard edge. You basically have the paint and then it'll drop down, and then the old paint, you'll leave like this harsh edge on there. So what you can do is take the tape and fold it over like that, so it's about 2/3 and 1/3, and then that curled edge you put up here like this, and you actually stand it off. You actually stick it off like that. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can see that. So you got the curled edge up and over, and you leave that standing up like that. And when you spray in here, and the spray droplets are going to be dropping down in there, and it's going to give you a gradient of paint laying down in there instead of a hard edge, and so it'll do a nice little blend. It's not going to be perfect, especially with the spray can, but it'll be better than a hard edge line. I forgot I had this 3M soft edge. It's got sticky back on about 1/4 of an inch, and you stick that on the surface. It sticks on just like tape, and that basically effectively does what I was just talking about, gives you that soft edge on there for the little paint droplets to kind of lay in there on a soft edge rather than a hard taped off edge. Alright, remember, don't kill yourself over a project. Wear good personal protection. This is my old respirator. I actually couldn't find my new one. Alright, so I got a couple coats of clear on there. That can actually started to leak all over the place. It doesn't look like it matches at all. I'm going to be repainting this whole Jeep here in a couple months, so at least this will protect that bare metal. Install these hinges. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the studs here, just like the factory did, just to keep any water sealed out of there. No glue up on the seal area. And these have these gaskets too that came with these hinges. And of course, if you didn't see it in the first part 1 or 2, these hinges are from a ZJ, not a WJ. So get yourself a couple of ZJ rear glass hinges. They fit perfect into the window opening of the WJ, and then I use WJ latch and handle that goes here.
and ZJ strut bracket. So I'll throw a little preview up of the parts that we need. We are working on, there's been a lot of people asking now for this. It's probably my most popular recent YouTube video series. And so I am working on a way to try to make these out of polycarbonate, the Lexan, rather than aluminum. I can possibly produce these in any sort of quantity with all the shaping involved to get it perfect, but we are going to look into making them out of Lexan. So if you are interested in this idea, please leave me a comment, send me a message, give me a phone call, so I can kind of gauge how many guys are interested in doing this to their WJ. First thing I'm going to do with this handle is wipe it down with some xylene, and that just kind of livens up the plastic.
So it really, you can see the rag, how dirty it is. So it cleans that plastic. It's been around, it's been outside a long time, and it basically makes it look brand new again. Alright, these hinges have kind of a crusty, just dirt and debris that's built up behind that seal. So I'm just taking some sandpaper kind of getting that dirt off of there. It really doesn't hurt the rubber. I think I'll wipe that with some of that xylene. Good to go. This is like a RTV silicone. Put it around there, and that'll just help seal up that hole. The left hinge goes forward, right hinge goes back. So if this was the back of the car and you're looking at it left and right, same thing. Alright, hinges are in, and I'm going to go ahead and bolt this panel on here. You've got your gasket on here. Put this little plastic gasket in here that snaps in, and because I made the panel the same thickness of the glass, it just snaps in real nice. That goes in there. Alright, I got a new strut that I ordered off Amazon. Alright, so there it is, pretty much the preliminary. Check it out. Oh yeah, it's so light. One strut definitely is all it needs. Okay, so I got everything done here on the outside of the Jeep. It's working really good. I just have to do the wiring for the latch and the button. Got the seal in. I used the little connector piece here to help seal that up. I did make a mistake and I tore this right here in probably the most critical spot. So I'm gonna have to go to the junkyard and get another seal. I tore this outside bulb of the seal. But other than that, it fits great. The new hydraulic strut works good, and I think it looks pretty sweet. What do you guys think? I absolutely love it. Got a lot of time and energy into this project, but I think it's pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna make an easy modification to this latch. I'm just gonna take about 1/8 of an inch off of this edge on both sides, something like that. The latch sits pitched back a little bit, and it really needs to move forward or toward the glass or toward the panel a little teeny bit. There's a curve on the up on the WJ where this is sitting, and so by trimming that we'll get it a little bit closer. you can kind of see just that little bit, so that should be enough. I don't think we need much. But for a prototype, I think it looks pretty good. Maybe I'll make a custom sticker for it or something out of gloss.
All right, so on to the electronics. This is the back panel. I pulled off of the tailgate. Pretty simple. It's just 5 screws. The factory switch was in here, like that. And I'm gonna put another one over here, and I think I'm gonna sacrifice this hole and put another one right there in the middle, and I'll switch the wiring. So this one is the main glass back hatch, and then we'll have the left and right side flip panels. So we're gonna, I lasered out this little template, and I'm gonna put on there, cut it out to make my marks. And I'm actually gonna use our laser, I think, to cut the holes in it. It's nice and square, it's kind of fun. So let's go do that now.
All right, here we are. We're gonna try to cut this baby, see if we can screw it up. Oh boy.
Don't stare into the laser beam.
Yep. Fired up. Oh boy. It doesn't really like that dip. Yeah. It looked like it was getting good. So probably can just cut it with a razor blade.
Yeah. Probably could have kept going there and got through it.
Wait, let me grab the utility blade.
All right, we're laughing over here. So we got that cut. Let's do a little test fit.
You test fit that?
Yeah.
Probably should have.
What?
That's not fair.
It's almost not fair, is it?
That's just not
All right,
right.
let me carve this guy out. All right.
And again, just almost not fair.
That did make it kind of easy, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Look at that.
Almost too easy.
Can you see that, folks? So we'll get all 3 buttons in there. Okay, so working on the wiring here, you got to drop this down. So you got 2 screws here, a screw here, a screw here, and a screw here. That's all of them. And then the rest is a bunch of green or yellow clips all along here. So I'm just going to go ahead and. Oh, I forgot to unhook these. Make sure you unhook your defrosters. This is a good time to figure out if you have a back latch problem while you're in here. All right, now that we got this exposed, we have to tap into the wiring here.
Yeah, it's a good thing you got a cameraman here, because
I'm
otherwise,
not used to having a cameraman, so
all this would have been
usually I have to
lost.
do all this by myself. I'm gonna poke this screwdriver through this grommet right here. Come on, baby.
I didn't know stripping was one of your one of your things.
Yeah, I'm a stripper in my last life. You didn't know that, Jason?
No.
I like doing the non-insulated crimps.
Matches your shirt, Jim.
Yeah. We're trying. We use the laser to cut the squares to hold the buttons. Check it out.
Yeah.
So we got the center. So the factory one that was over here, we'll put in the center, and then the left and right. And so we use the laser to cut the holes. It was like fucking did it in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That was sweet. So no filing, no nothing. Don't forget, put your shrink tubing on. So the dude behind the camera here is like a world famous glass blower, buddy of mine, and Jason Ruff. Say hi, Jason.
Hi, Jason.
And I'll put a link in the description for one of his glass blowing videos.
and it's pretty cool stuff. Alright, so that's pretty cool. So we got a center glass, and then once we get these wired up, we'll have the passenger side glass and the driver's side. So that'll be tucked in there. I mean, it doesn't get much more factory looking than that. That's awesome.
Here we go. So Jim's tried screwing it with the rubber on there. And he had to take the rubber off so he could screw it better.
Yeah, I've heard that
Yeah.
time to time.
Alright, so I got it taped, and I'm going to try to pull this through here. And then you go ahead and pop your panel back on. I'm going to wait until I have everything wired up, just in case I got to get in here for something. I'll put these grommets back, and that part will be done. Some power at this. Actuate that so we know the actuator works. If you don't have a power probe, this is a Chinese knockoff, you need to get one. I'll put a link in the description for this tool, it's awesome. This guy here, which we're putting a Cummins diesel in. Matter of fact, let me walk over there right now and just give a little quick shot of this. So we Jared's actually working on this, one of the guys here in the shop. This is not really my project, but he's got this little 4-cylinder Cummins in here, transmission adapter, custom motor mounts. So we do a lot of different work here at the shop. So if you are interested in having something done, something custom, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it when you guys subscribe. We're kind of climbing up there. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers here by the end of the month.